Good afternoon and welcome to today's information session for our firefighter paramedic recruitment. My name is Jennifer Thames and I'm the communications and marketing specialist with the department, and I will be moderating today's session. So this session is also being recorded and will be posted later on our website. Before we begin, I just wanted to acknowledge that Strathcona County is located on Treaty 6 territory and is the homeland of the Métis Nation of Alberta, Regions 2 and 4. Strathcona County honors the First Peoples of this land. We recognize that we stand upon land that carries the footsteps of Cree, Métis, and Blackfoot, among many other nations who have been here for thousands of years. Therefore, Strathcona County has an inherent responsibility to foster healthier relationships with First Peoples and to further the calls to action as outlined in the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. So there will be a question and answer period at the end of this presentation, but feel free to put your questions in the Q&A chat throughout, and then they will be answered at the end. To start things off, we would just like to get to know you a little bit. So if you wouldn't mind, please let us know in the Q&A chat where you are joining us from, if anyone is with you, and how you heard about the session. And now I will pass things over to our panel.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Angela Moore, and I work in the Human Resources Department here at Strathcona County, and I support talent acquisition for a variety of departments, including emergency services. The purpose of this information session is to provide you with important information on the recruitment process and share insight into a career in emergency services. We are proud to have members of Strathcona County Emergency Services joining us today, so I will turn it over to them for introductions and to share some more information with you.
Hi, my name is Jared Butler. I'm a lieutenant with the training division here in Strathcona County. I've been in my current role for about 3 years now, but I've been with the county since 2003. So with my current role, one of my big roles is the onboarding of any new recruits that we end up hiring.
And good morning, my name is Kelly Lear, Division Chief Planning and Training. I've been with the county starting my 24th year and about 28 years in emergency services. And I'm going to share a little bit more information about our unique environment here in Strathcona County. So we are an integrated service. Each one of our members is trained as a firefighter and a paramedic. This means that our members are working seamlessly together on calls. We all respond on fire apparatus or on the ambulance depending on the day and your assignment. Strathcona County covers over 1,200 square kilometers of mixed urban and rural communities. We have 4 main urban areas. We have 4 full-time stations, 2 part-time stations, and the 5th full-time station is in the planning phase. We are contracted to provide 4 ambulances with Alberta Health Services, and our community is one of many high-risk profiles, including petrochemical refining and support industries, road, rail, and pipeline transportation corridors, high-density residential communities, wildland-urban interface challenges, many bodies of water, and an ever-increasing commercial business presence. Last year, we responded to approximately 12,000 calls total. And now I'd like to share a little bit of value-added factors that I think you should be considering when you're looking for a department. We are a growing department with many engaging career streams for you to work through. They include an opportunity for our primary care paramedics to become advanced care. We have high-fidelity EMS sim teams with supporting AHS-directed continuing education. We have multiple high-fidelity mannequins and a training ambulance to support that. You may join a water team, rescue team, or a drone team. You may be one of the peer fitness or support trainers. You can test yourself with our record-setting and world champion firefit teams. We have a pipes and drum and honor guard teams representing the county at numerous events annually, both within our borders and outside. We have an enviable employee development program to challenge you throughout your career. Lifelong learning is very important here, and we invest in our employees because we expect you to deliver very high service year in and year out. We train frequently and expect you to be able to show you're mastering your skills at your level. And there will be career pathing opportunities down the road for you. Fire prevention and investigation, emergency communications, safety and logistics, planning and training are all opportunities. And many of us in these divisions started in suppression where you are now. Angela?
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Lieutenant. Our panel will be available to answer your questions during the Q&A portion at the end of this presentation. So, as you know, a career within a fully integrated fire and emergency medical service is exciting, fulfilling, diverse, and challenging. Dedicated teams of emergency services professionals save lives and protect property by responding quickly and effectively. If you thrive on teamwork, want to help those in need, and have a desire to contribute to your community, we hope you consider applying. So let's review the recruitment process. The application. Prior to applying, you are encouraged to review all of the information that is available to you on our careers page. Here, you can link to the emergency services pages for in-depth information on the process if you are considering a career within our integrated service. We are accepting applications until March 31st at 11:59 p.m. local time. After the posting closes on March 31st, all applications will be screened for minimal qualifications. Successful candidates will then be contacted to start the next steps. You can expect to be contacted by telephone and by email. Communication regarding the competition, including invitations to testing, will be sent via email to the address you provided upon application. Please check your email often, including junk mail folders. After the initial screening for required qualifications, selected candidates will be invited to register for the first step in the process. This is the fitness test at the University of Alberta. This will take place in May. The fitness test is conducted at the U of A campus. It is in your best interest to read in detail all of the information provided on the U of A Firefighter fitness testing webpage. They provide details on exactly what to expect during the test, how to prepare, and tips on how to ensure you are ready and able to be successful in the physical testing. Please note, each candidate is responsible for paying the cost of this test, which is approximately $380. You pay that fee directly to the U of A when you are invited to register for your test. If you are successfully hired by Strathcona County and completed this fitness test in May during our testing period, you can submit to have this fee reimbursed. If you have completed this fitness test at the U of A within 6 months of your application, we will accept these results for screening. For example, if you applied on March 1st, then we will accept your U of A fitness test result from September 1st, 2022 or sooner. Reimbursement will not be provided for these past tests. If you pass the fitness test, you will be invited to the next step in the process, which is the testing and interview day. Testing and interview days will be in June. Successful candidates will be scheduled to one of these days, where you will complete 3 steps: the firefighter aptitude test, the medical knowledge and scenario test, and the interview, all in one day. You can expect to be with us for several hours to complete all steps on that day. Let's talk about each of those steps. The aptitude test. The aptitude test is a 2-hour written test that measures your understanding of oral comprehension, reading and written information, math and numerical skills, maps, diagrams, mechanical reasoning, teamwork, and public relations. You will be seated in a classroom setting for this test. There is no cost to you for this exam. We will cover that on your behalf. The next test is the medical knowledge and scenario test. Candidates will be assessed at various simulation stations. You will rotate through these stations, providing clinical assessments for several scenarios, offering differential diagnosis with possible treatments. Then there is the interview. Candidates will meet with representatives from Strathcona County Emergency Services and Human Resources for an in-person interview. The interviews will consist of behavioral-based interview questions. You are encouraged to prepare and practice for your interview. We expect complete, and thorough responses to each question. The interview is also your opportunity to let us get to know you a bit better. Even if you think you are experienced at the interview process, practice. Prepare for questions by thinking of specific examples that will best support your responses. Start writing down experiences you have had so they are top of mind when you are asked about situations in the interview. We all look forward to meeting you during that interview, and we want you to be successful. After the testing and interviews conclude, the final selection process will begin. All candidates will be notified of their status, and if we're moving forward with you, you will be contacted about specific next steps. Such steps include the conditional offer of employment. That will be extended by the end of June, both written and verbal offers. After that, the pre-employment medical assessment and drug screening. This will take place in July. The medical assessment is a condition of employment. It is a general physical with a doctor and blood work, ensuring candidates meet the requirements and physical demands of the job. A mask fit test is also completed at this time, and you must be clean shaven for the mask fit. And then our anticipated start date and training will begin August 14th. Let's review the required minimum qualifications you need to have at the time of your application. You must have the following minimum qualifications on the date you apply. Currently registered with the Alberta College of Paramedics as a registered advanced care paramedic, ACP, or a registered primary care paramedic, PCP. Proof of registration will be required. A driver's abstract demonstrating a satisfactory driving record with less than 6 demerits. Hold a current valid Class 4 driver's license. In addition, a valid Class 3 driver's license with air brake Q endorsement must be completed by the end of your probationary period after hire. So that's up to 1 year. This is a condition of employment. You are fully responsible for this condition of employment, and there is no reimbursement for this cost. You must have the ability to successfully obtain and maintain a vulnerable sector police information check. This is required upon offer or prior to your start date. You must also have the ability to pass all physical and medical standards, including eyesight and audible, as outlined in the NFPA standard. The following qualifications are preferred, but not mandatory. Your 1001s, level 1 and 2, emergency medical, fire response, work experience, and current ITLS, PALS, and ACLS certification. Successfully hired candidates will receive training in 1001s. Successful candidates who currently hold their PCP and have their 1001 certification may be given the opportunity to become fully certified as an advanced care paramedic. We have received inquiries from current PCP students who are either scheduled to write their copper tests or have written and are waiting for results. Unfortunately, if you do not hold the minimum qualifications of being a fully registered PCP by the closing date of this competition, which is March 31st, then you will not meet screening criteria and cannot be considered for this current competition. You are encouraged to apply again to future Strathcona County opportunities. You are also invited to attend the Strathcona County Emergency Services Career Day, which will be on Saturday, March 25th. This is your chance to interact with our firefighter, paramedics, and recruitment team. You will have the opportunity to tour Station 6 and experience some of the physical activities you might be required to do during the fitness exam. Various stations will be set up, putting participants through different physical activities while wearing bunker gear. Sessions will run every 60 minutes on the hour, and you are encouraged to wear workout attire, including running shoes. We look forward to seeing you there. And now we will open the floor to answer your questions.
All right, thank you so much, Angela, Division Chief Lear, and Lieutenant Butler. If you have a question, please put it into the Q&A chat and we will answer them. We've had a couple that have come in already, so we are going to start with those ones. So the first question is, does Strathcona Fire support master's level post-secondary education for related fields such as business administration or emergency management?
Thanks, Jen. There are opportunities for an individual learning plan down the road where we have and do support up to master's level education. That level of education does exceed our standard employee development program that takes you up to division chief and meets the qualifications for deputy chief. So lots of supported education as well as opportunities for 75% coverage through the individual learning plan.
Awesome. The next question is, are you able to share any updates regarding the construction of Strathcona's next fire station?
Yes, we can. So I mentioned it's in the planning phase. That community is developing quickly. We are starting to ramp up the hiring to get our staff required for Station 7 on board and experienced before those doors open. So the process is well underway. No dates have been set for turning of the ground or opening.
Awesome. Will there ever be ambulances stationed in Ardrossan or South Cooking Lake?
Good questions. And again, those will very much be based on the population and requirements or contracts with Alberta Health Services. So right now, as mentioned earlier, we're 4 ambulances contract. We are in negotiations along with the other integrateds right now. I can't specify on what the future will hold, but if we do go that route, it would be based on population needs in that part of the county.
All right, we've had another question come in. How many applicants typically receive an offer of employment after each competition? Angela, did you want to answer that one?
Sure, it depends on the recruitment needs of every competition. This year, we're hoping to hire 12 to 15 new recruits, and so that is the number of applications or the number of offers we hope to extend.
All right, then the next question is, how long must one be on the floor prior to be allowed to join a specialty team?
So specialty teams, we have 3 current specialty teams. So we have our technical rescue team, our water team, and we have a drone team. And the current SOPs outline that we can join or apply for one of those teams after we meet the level of, I think it's first class firefighter is when that opens up. So that's in your 4th year that you become your first class firefighter.
And another question is, what is a typical work schedule look like?
So we follow a schedule that is, for anyone that's involved in emergency services, probably familiar to you already. It's 4 days on, 4 days off. So we do 2 10-hour day shifts, followed by 2 14-hour night shifts, and then that's followed by our 4 days off.
Oh. All right, that looks like it's the last of the questions that have come in, but I will just give a couple more. Oh, there's one. How often are applications open every year? I can answer this one. We do one recruitment period, typically a year. So the next one would be in 2024. I know last year we had an additional recruitment, but that's not typical. So we'll just give it a couple more minutes. Oh, so one more question. Of those 4 on, 4 off, which are ambulance and fire?
So we're actually working through some changes right now. Historically, in your first year, you'd probably be about 50% EMS, 50% fire. So a lot of times what you'll find is as a new member of the department, you do 1 day on ambulance, 1 day on fire, and then the same would repeat for your night shifts. Kind of what we're going through right now with the addition of, we have a community response unit, or our CRU. That's changing the manning situation a little bit. But I would say the 50% is a good sort of baseline that you could expect when hitting the floor.
What characteristics and traits does the ideal firefighter paramedic have, in your opinion?
So that's a pretty wide open question. I'm glad you said it, my opinion, because it's obviously just my opinion. But one of the things that we really try and coach during the recruit orientation, which is 12 weeks, is getting people to buy into the culture. And so things that we're looking for are people that are flexible, that are part of the team, people that are able to look at the bigger picture, look beyond themselves, and really buy into the fact that we're here to service the community, and we're here as just a part of that, along with an employer who's here to support us and other divisions that are working all to do the same. So during that 12 weeks, obviously some of our priorities are to get everyone through their 1001 skills and teach everyone the equipment and teach everyone our policies and our procedures. But another really important aspect that we focus on is really incorporating culture and teamwork, and resiliency, hopefully to carry people forward for a good quality, valuable career.
Awesome. Next question. Over the next few years, how many recruits is Strathcona looking to hire?
I'll take that one, Jen. Really difficult to answer. You know, we talked about Station 7 opening, and once the decisions are made on what apparatus are going to be placed there over what timeline, that'll indicate base numbers for that. And then we have to allow for leave management. And then we also can't predict 100% accurately is those that retire or choose to go elsewhere. So we also have to replace those members on an annual basis. And that's why our recruit numbers can sometimes swing wildly, you know, from 6 to 7 a year up to, you know, over 20 a year last year. So a number of factors that are in play. And the good news is in the next few years, we know Station 7 is going to be a big impact, but then backfilling those who choose to retire or leave, that's an unknown.
Next question. Does Strathcona County allow employees to work part-time at other EMS-related jobs?
Good question. It is not encouraged, and there are a number of reasons for that. One, as Lieutenant Buehler spoke to, it is a challenging career, and we do want you to be at your best when you show up here to provide care. Having a strong, functionally work-life balance, having that time for you to make sure you're prepared to come in. I do believe, and I think most of us would support that, we are compensated well for the work we do. We have an employer who puts a lot of energy into supporting us, and we want you to show up at your best. So I can't say for sure there isn't, but I can say there's lots of opportunities here if somebody was looking for a little bit of extra overtime, for example. But we do want you to make sure you're focused on prepared, especially those first few years where your learning curve is steep and we're going to be asking a lot of you.
Great answer. Is there any requirement to live within the county?
There is not. We have members living as far away that I can think of as Spruce Grove. So you can choose to live anywhere in the capital region, as long as obviously you're making it to work on time and you can get home at a reasonable time to allow you to rest up for the next shift.
Could you explain the process and timeline of a PCP coming on board with no 1001s and upgrading to an ACP?
Currently in our SOP, those offers, once, same as with the specialty teams, you hit first class and then there'll be an opportunity to enter into that program. The amount of members we support through the program is dependent on annual budgets. So some years we might have support for 3 members to start school, the next year it might be 2. We seem to have a pretty consistent 2 members starting as a norm for us.
The other part of that question too, I'll just jump in real quick, is for those without the 1001 program. So part of our 12-week onboarding, we go through a lot of the training and requirements that satisfy the 1001 program. So any PCPs or ACPs that get hired on with us without that background, you'll get it as part of your normal onboarding. What we do though is we keep you for an extra 2 weeks just to tidy up some of the loose ends and get some of the examinations and skill sign-offs done. So that's actually, it only ends up being an extra 2 weeks of your orientation.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That is all the questions, but I'll hang on a little bit longer just to see if some other ones come in. We've had some great ones coming in. Also, if you have a question that comes up after the session is over, feel free to send us an email. I will put our email in the chat, and we will follow up with you. So definitely do that. Just hanging on a couple more seconds. Oh, we've got one more. All right, so that looks like everything. So thank you to our panel, and thank you for everyone for jumping on today. Again, like I said, if you have any further questions, send us an email at joinsces@strathcona.ca, and a recruiter will follow up with you. One last reminder about our in-person open house on March 25th here at Station 6. If you are in the area, we'd love to meet you in person. Good luck, everybody, with the application process. It is a lot to prepare for, but it is definitely worth it. We hope to see you soon. Thank you, everyone. Take care.